Big news today. The FBI is raiding Democrat-run offices at Buffalo City Hall in what they say is part of a public corruption probe. Federal agents entered the offices of an agency chaired by the Democrat mayor of Buffalo, Byron Brown, the city's first African-American mayor. Mayor Brown, who is a huge supporter of failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, has already been involved in a number of major controversies. There was also one unusual controversy where hundreds of pounds of food went missing that were intended for after-school programs. And with news of this FBI raid today, news outlets are pointing out that the FBI has been investigating the City Community Action Organization, whose CEO, Nathan Hare, pictured here, had to defend the agency's operations amid increasing federal scrutiny. Another new article on the information that we do have so far about the raid. They say federal agents are conducting a court-authorized raid of a City Hall office in Buffalo. Agents from the FBI, IRS, and U.S. Department of Housing and Urban are inside a neighborhood development office in Buffalo's City Hall. Multiple news outlets have reported. They include a tweet here that reads, "Investigators in plain clothes are here in City Hall. A man has been posted outside room 315, which is the City of a Buffalo Office of Strategic Planning Neighborhood Development section." This is among the most recent articles here. Some more info just in the last hour before recording this. They're saying that federal agents still are at Buffalo City Hall, where they are carrying out a raid that began early this morning. Agents are in a third-floor office, room 315. People have been coming in and out of it all morning, but there's been no official word on what they are investigating. The city released a statement saying activity involves the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency, which plans and finances neighborhood-driven development projects in the city. It's a board chaired by Mayor Byron Brown, a Democrat, but the city spokesperson said they did not have any other additional information other than that it is at that office. The FBI confirms they are investigating along with its federal partners, including the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS and the Department of Housing and Urban Development's Office of Inspector General. They got here around 7 a.m. and still have not left hours later. It was not immediately clear how long agents will be in the office or at City Hall. The FBI would not comment on what its agents are looking for or who they're looking at, though a spokesperson for Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown released the following statement saying, quote, "Our understanding is that court-authorized activity has taken place at the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency office. At this time, we have no further information." Another breaking article here may give some more insight into exactly what the Urban Renewal Agency is doing. The Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency gets millions of dollars in federal anti-poverty money annually, with some going to help create multi-unit apartment buildings, some going to assist existing homeowners, and some used to build new homes or acquire vacant properties, then rehab them for resale to first-time homebuyers. The Urban Renewal Agency, whose board of directors is chaired by Mayor Byron Brown, works closely with the city's Office of Strategic Planning. Both offices appeared to be the focus of a search by federal agents this morning in City Hall. The Office of Strategic Planning oversees several city programs funded largely with federal money. The Urban Renewal Agency has been involved in controversy before. They talk about one of the major controversies here. In April 2018, news outlets reported that the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency spent $4.3 million over 3 years rehabilitating 10 dilapidated houses in the city that it resold to first-time homeowners for about $1 million, or less than 1/4 of what Buffalo spent to rehab them. For instance, over on Fillmore Avenue, the city of Buffalo paid almost $400,000 to renovate a rundown one-family house that it sold for $80,000. The city's Division of Housing, where the FBI agents are posted this morning, is headed by Yvonne McCrae. The housing office is among those receiving federal funds for such things as housing rehabilitation programs in the city. McCrae, pictured here, was appointed by Mayor Byron Brown earlier this year. Also interesting that the Office of Strategic Planning has been the focus of federal investigations in the past. The office was once led by Timothy Wanamaker, who was sentenced in 2012 to 3 years probation for using a City Hall credit card to finance more than $27,000 in personal expenses, including travel. Wanamaker, pictured here, had to repay the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the money he stole. Wanamaker was hired in 2003 by the previous mayor, another Democrat, but he was kept in the post when Byron Brown became mayor. In the Brown years, the FBI launched an investigation into One Sunset, an upscale restaurant that closed a year after it opened and left $160,000 in unpaid government grants and loans. The One Sunset probe never led to criminal charges, but it did result in 2 unrelated but high-profile prosecutions. One of them involved Timothy Wanamaker, and the other, former Common Council member Brian Davis, former president of the Community Action Organization of Western New York. So again, that makes it even more interesting that the FBI has been looking at the Community Action Organization. The current CEO of the Community Action Organization, Nathan Hare, pictured here, has had to again defend the Anti-Poverty Agency's operations. Here's an article from a few months back leading into the FBI raids today at City Hall. In August, they were saying that the FBI and the State of Attorney's General Office has conducted a flurry of interviews in recent weeks as they investigate Community Action Organization of Western New York, which spends millions of state and federal dollars, they say, fighting poverty. Investigators with the Attorney General's office last week concluded 2 days of interviews in Buffalo with people who could offer information about CAO's inner workings, according to one person who was questioned. They had several file boxes, the person told Buffalo News, on the condition that he remain unidentified to protect his current job situation. He also said, quote, "They presented me with documents and we went through them for inconsistencies and things that looked suspicious." He described hours of intense questioning and said the investigators had a laser focus on any state-funded dollar that has come into that agency. A representative from the Attorney General's Charities Bureau, which scrutinizes New York charities and investigates complaints against them, also took part, the person said. They add that a majority of CAO board members present at an October meeting voted to fire longtime CEO L. Nathan Hare over concerns about the finances. They then hired a firm to conduct a forensic audit to detect signs of fraud. Hare, however, never left. An agency lawyer with ties to Mayor Byron Brown, Adam Perry, determined that the board's vote to fire the CEO was illegal. Perry's firm then completed a report saying 6 of the directors, including Dunn, had been improperly appointed and they were dismissed. The forensic audit never materialized. The state and federal investigators are examining the agency's use of tens of millions of dollars it receives from the state and federal governments to run education and training programs and other services. The Attorney General's office asked the people voluntarily interviewed in Buffalo last week to bring documents and their knowledge of matters related to state funds, said the source who spoke to the news about his interview. Among the topics the state officials wanted to discuss were CAO's methadone clinic, known as its DART clinic, food programs, and consultants, among other things. Those topics have already raised eyebrows. Buffalo News pointing out the CAO's outside accounting firm has told the agency of persistent billing irregularities at the DART clinic and that the agency should have sought bids before paying a Head Start consultant $1.7 million over 7 years. In 2016, hundreds of pounds of donated food was reported missing from after-school programs run by the agency, according to an internal report. Hare, the CEO, has both downplayed those issues and said they have been dealt with appropriately. Tell me what you think about these FBI raids today taking place at Buffalo City Hall and any of these other connections. Anything else you may think of, let me know in a comment. I will follow up with new information as it comes out. Thanks everybody that has been sharing these videos and sharing the channel to help get this information out there. If you could leave a like on this video, that is greatly appreciated, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Also, in the video description are links to my Patreon and PayPal accounts where you can support the channel directly. Patreon.com/realityreader and paypal.me/realityreader. I will follow up soon. Thanks, everyone.